Hey everyone, it's LaShonda King. Thank you so much for subscribing and sharing our LDK YouTube channel and for following us on Instagram at Queen King Slays. Welcome to Talk About It Tuesday, where you all as a community share a topic, and as a counselor, I think about it, research it, and then we talk about it. Today, you all, we are going to talk about having our feelings dismissed and invalidated by people that we love. Man, that's a hard one. That question comes from a friend in Los Angeles, and this could really be a few videos, so I'm going to try and give us something to think about. And if there are specific areas that you would like me to expound upon and make another video about, please let me know in the comments or send me a message. So for today, I am going to try and break this down a couple different ways, because when you're just helping a friend or a family member, it's hard to really discuss the full picture of this, because people will feel like you're trying to take the side of the other person instead of giving them something to think about on both sides. So I'll talk about kind of the roots of it. Then I'll talk about how it feels being on the side of the person who has their feelings dismissed or invalidated. And then I'll talk about some of what might be going on in the mind of the other person who's doing the dismissing. So we'll start off by talking about feelings and emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is the ability to be in tune with our emotions, with our thoughts, and with our feelings, and to be able to express those and to be able to talk about them openly. Now, people have varying levels of emotional intelligence, and that is one thing that's very important to know with this topic, because you may be dealing with someone who does not have as high of an emotional intelligence as you, and they may or may not be really in tune with their feelings. Another thing that might be important to keep in mind is understanding your love language. I will say that if one of your love languages is words of affirmation, you may also consider how words that other people that you love share or dismiss, or things that they say, might affect you a little bit stronger. Also, one thing that's really important is that we have to consider that our intent, or the way we mean things to be given or shared with people, may not always be the impact. And so we'll kind of talk about that. So I might have to glance down, you all, because this is a pretty meaty topic. So I wanted to make sure that I had notes so that I can give you everything that we could in this short 10 or so minute video. So if you are the person who is having your feelings invalidated or dismissed, first of all, number one, your feelings are valid. You are not being too sensitive. You are not being too emotional. You are being 100% who you are. If that is a sensitive individual, if you are highly intuitive, if you are highly emotionally intelligent, if you are in tune with your thoughts and your feelings, you are correct. How you feel is important. Our perception is our reality. So the first thing I need you to do is to work on making sure that you are validating your own feelings. That is first and foremost. Okay, so I think that most people who feel like their feelings are consistently invalidated, that kind of messes with your voice. You're not sure that you want to really share your voice with people as a whole, especially not with somebody who consistently makes you feel like what you have to say is not important, or that they hurt your feelings and don't even acknowledge it. So the first thing I would tell you to do is make sure that you are clear with your own self, and that you will give yourself words of affirmation to let you know that what you're thinking is real. Also, I would say that you will need to advocate for yourself and learn how to be a little bit assertive with the person that you are dealing with. If you're an adult, you have more ability to do this. If you're a teenager or a young person, you might have to tread a little bit lightly, but it is okay to tell somebody that you don't appreciate, what they've done or what they've said, or that although you realize they're not responsible for your feelings, that they can at least acknowledge them and that they're really important. Also, you can give examples of how that person might speak to you another time. So, for example, if somebody invalidates your feeling, you can say, when I share something and I tell you it hurts my feelings, it might be nice if you just say something like, wow, I may not understand your perspective, LaShonda, but I'm sorry that hurt you. Or, just model some things and give them some examples or something to think about. Another thing is to set boundaries, because if you're an adult especially, you have to know, I guess, what's best for you. And if you need to keep certain people at a certain distance. Now, of course, that's hard when it's your romantic partner, or if it's a parent or somebody that's a close family member. But with everybody, there's some sort of boundaries that can be set to keep yourself safe. I was kind of thinking about the previous video where I talked about those 3 things. I'm going to say it's kind of 4. So if you think about that honesty part, that communication, I'm going to add in safety, and then also back to that alignment. Alignment is so important in all relationships. Honesty and alignment, well, heck, and communication, they're all super important. But in this case, safety is really important too. So once you have set boundaries with that person, you do have to make sure that you're holding those boundaries and that you're not letting that person really get under your skin or really get to you. But you have to be clear about what you want, what you're willing to accept, and I don't know, just make sure you're working on yourself. So for me, I've experienced this before on the side of having my feelings dismissed or invalidated. What helped me was to go to counseling and to work on affirming myself, working on some of my cognitive negative self-talk, because that also was contributing to me feeling dismissed. There is a saying that nobody can make you feel a certain type of way without your consent. And to an extent, that's true. If you're strong-minded about something, then a person's words can't actually truly affect you. But if you already have a slight sensitivity to it, then it makes it actually a little bit easier for it to affect you negatively. If you're on the side of the person who's being the dismisser, and I've unknowingly been on this side before, I think we all have, one thing that has really, really helped over the years, and this also goes for the people who are being dismissed as well, is at the very beginning of tough conversations that might involve emotions, clarify expectations and needs up front. So on my side, I now say, okay, so tell me what you're expecting from me from this conversation. Are you looking for feedback? Are you listening for a quiet ear? And if they say feedback, what kind of feedback would you like? Would you like constructive feedback? Would you like me to help you solve a problem? Or, what is it that you want from me? So if you, as the person who has been dismissed, or the person who may unknowingly be brushing off your loved one's friends, asking for clarification at the very beginning is helpful, because it sets both parties on the same page. It makes you more aligned, so then you're less likely to not be on the same page when it comes to like those dismissive feelings. I will say that I'm often guilty of making people feel like their feelings are dismissed, because I automatically go into problem solving mode when somebody just wants me to listen. So asking for, what you want at the beginning has been so helpful, you all, and I would just highly recommend that first. I will say that on the side of the dismisser, that I know that your intentions may be one thing, but that does not always mean that your impact comes across that way. And while no, you're not responsible for other people's feelings, you can take some responsibility in how what you said or did makes that person feel. It is okay to say, I'm sorry that hurt your feelings. I may not understand, but I can see that you're upset by that. Can you help me to understand what I said that was hurtful to you? Things like, just get over it. I don't get why you think that way. That doesn't make any sense to me. Nobody actually asked you if you feel that way, or if you think that. Like, sometimes we have to realize that it's not all about us. Sometimes also, even if you're just trying to help, and I'm talking to myself too, is that sometimes you just have to be quiet. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And that goes with statements that are minimizing, dismissive, or otherwise invalidating someone else's feelings. Unless somebody's asking you how you feel, sometimes you just need to be quiet and not share how you think somebody else should handle their situation. Honestly, you all, this is a very deep topic, because on the side of the person being dismissed, it really is a matter of how you feel about your own voice. Do you need this person's validation? Who is this person to you? How can you alter your relationship with this person? Is this person meeting you halfway? If it's a romantic partner, are they willing to go to counseling with you? Have they made any improvements in the area? These are some very tough questions to ask. If you're on the side of being the dismisser, why are you doing that? Do you know that you're being invalidating or dismissive? Are you projecting negative feelings or insecurities onto the person who you're being dismissive of? Do you have some hidden agenda? Or do you have something deeper within you that's not resolved, where you can't be supportive or acknowledge another person's feelings? Y'all, there's so much to dive into, but I will leave you all there. But just remember, in this particular case, you have that honesty, communication, safety, and alignment. You really have to feel safe in order to be honest and communicate with somebody, and you really have to make sure that that alignment is there. If you're an adult, again, the coping mechanisms, the closeness of relationships, the lack of power, all those things that you may have felt growing up, you're an adult now. You don't have to actually deal with them the same or tolerate them. You have a choice in how you handle them. You all tell me how you have handled being invalidated or dismissed before. I know that we've all been on both sides of this coin before, whether knowingly or unknowingly. So I would love to see what you all have experienced, how you all have gotten over it. I really feel like the community should be able to share with one another. And that's about it, you all. Like, if you all have very specific questions about how to expand upon this topic, I'm happy to address it again. I just wanted to give you a few things to consider as you start to think on both sides. Be encouraged, be empowered, know that your voice is important, and I hope you enjoyed Talk About It Tuesday. We'll see you on Transparency Thursday. I hope you have a great day, night, or evening, and we will see you next time. Peace.